There are two types of people. Type A, bro, I am about to lose my testicles. I started feeling bad for bro. Nobody wants to lose his testicles. That's like taking away a dragon's wings. I am about to lose my testicles. Can you help me stroke it one last time? I should have known better. Your profile picture speaks more than 1,000 words. I should have known better. Because why would you even text me this shit in the first place? How can I possibly help you with the devastating issue of losing your balls? I'm not a fucking doctor. I'm not a fucking surgeon. And then there is type B. Hi, Nerman.
Hope you're doing okay. I've been watching your videos for a while and you are by far the most relatable person I've come across on YouTube.
My man, thank you.
Your childhood, your interests, everything. Really appreciate what you're doing and I hope one day we make it out of the stage where every decision is life-altering.
Wow, I mean, this is a really wholesome message. I am sure it will not turn unnecessarily deep out of the blue for no fucking reason at all. Just wanted to ask you for your opinion on this question, whether you think God is real or not. Me personally, I'm inclined to think he's not. As to why, I've not seen anything magical happen as people describe it, and applying a tiny smidge of logic, that's a big word, smidge, immediately disproves half of the things written in the holy books. Sometimes people ask me really deep questions like I'm somewhat of a serious philosopher that knows the answer to every question and mystery on this planet, when in reality I'm just a regular human being. A human being that just misses Prime Black Ops 3 and Prime Neymar like a motherfucker. Do not worry. We still talk about you guys. But to that question, I respond with, yes, I believe God is real. And the reason why I believe God is real is a Nintendo DS. And I'm not saying this as a mockery. A Nintendo DS is the reason why I started believing in a higher power, why I started believing in God. And before I tell you this insanely bizarre story, I just want to clarify one thing. I do not give a fuck what you believe in. I don't care what religion you are part of. I couldn't care less about any of that. As long as you are a genuinely good human being, you cool. I just wanted to turn this story into a video because it's so fucking fascinating to me, so yeah. If you got any similar stories, feel free to share them in the comment section down below. It's my channel, I can do whatever the fuck I want on my channel, so yeah. Enjoy the story. So, this story takes place when I was just 9 years old, and the Nintendo DS was the hottest thing in my elementary school. Believe it or not, it was even hotter than Prime Jessica Alba, okay? Every single motherfucker had a DS, even the girls. Shit, I wouldn't have been surprised if the janitor pulled up with a DS one day. And just guess, take a wild guess who was not in the possession of a Nintendo DS. Yes, it was me, and possibly the janitor, but probably just me. I kid you not, I was the only boy in my class who was not able to enjoy this technological masterpiece. I was often contemplating about hitting one of the most devious licks of all time and just stealing the DS of one of my best friends at that time. But then again, my mom would have whooped my ass and subsequently shipped me to Brazil or something. Why didn't I have a Nintendo DS in the first place? Well, my dad always used to say it's too expensive, and I was really understanding of that issue, but still, as a 9-year-old kid, I asked him every single day after he came home from work if for some reason he changed his mind and maybe got his money up, not his funny up, so I can get me a nice little calm DS, you know? So one day, I was annoying the fuck out of him, quite literally harassing him with the request of buying me a Nintendo DS. And as if my begging wasn't enough, my older brother somehow decided to join forces with me and help me press my dad, cause he realized how fucking great a Nintendo DS was, okay? And believe it or not, he actually gave in. I will never forget his famous words. Okay, fine, do good in school and I will get you a Nintendo DS for your birthday. I was so fucking hyped. You don't understand. My birthday was 3 months away. And I'm not over exaggerating when I say this was the single greatest moment of my life. The dopamine release I felt in that very moment was absurdly insane. I counted each day in my calendar, crossing out every single day. It was the first thing I did when I woke up for school. 3 months. I have to suffer 3 months until I am in the possession of a Nintendo DS. Can you believe that? Can you believe I am
y'all have a
about to have a
jacuzzi?
Nintendo DS? Do you know how long of a time 3 months is for a 9-year-old? Nowadays, time flies. We know that. But as a 9-year-old, 3 months are equal to 3 adult years. But one day, my birthday eventually came around. It's time. And the day before my birthday, I told everyone in class that tomorrow will be the day I will be joining forces with them. I will finally have a DS so I can finally play Pokemon Pearl with all my friends. And that's when the tragedy struck. My birthday eventually came around. I woke up extra early, not because I wanted to, but because I was not able to properly sleep. I was so fucking excited. The amount of times I've dreamt about this was absurd. Let me tell you, it was absolutely absurd. And now the big day is finally here. I was waiting for my dad to come home from work, counting down the fucking seconds like a sports addict, waiting for the game to finally end so he wouldn't lose the family home. And when my dad came home from work, I instantly walked up to him and said, "Let's go." He's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's my birthday. Let's go get that DS. You promised me." And after waiting for a couple of hours, we actually got into the car and actually started heading to our local Toys R Us. And as I'm recording this, my eyes are low-key watering, bro. I feel so bad for my younger self in that moment because we all can smell what is about to happen next. So I walk up to this little glass cabinet that displayed all the different colorways of the DS's. And I was like, "Look, Dad, I really want a white one, but also the black one is kind of cool." And that's where my dad cut me off. And he was like, "Yo, I'm not trying to be that guy, but it's really expensive. I can't get you one, little bro." The silence, the goosebumps, the sickness I felt in my stomach in that exact moment. I do not recall a moment that I could compare it with. You know what he said? Do you really want to know what he said? I'm so mad just telling this story, bro. I am not making this shit up. He said, "Go get you a lollipop or something. We gotta go." Do you know what dad did to me? Looking back at this whole fuckery, my dad probably told me this lie in hopes of me forgetting about the DS one day in the span of those 3 months. He wasn't really expecting me to be this dedicated about me getting a DS. And as I was crying in the back of my dad's car, and as I was crying myself to sleep, I couldn't help but think about the way I will embarrass myself in front of my classmates the very next day. I was flexing, telling everybody I would pull up with a brand new Nintendo DS, Pokemon Pearl, Pokemon Diamond, all of that, bro. And now I was just laying there, so exhausted from crying for hours that I literally, in the most literal sense, cried myself to sleep. I was just so fucking exhausted. So I woke up for school the next day and I felt like I haven't slept a single second. The TV was on and some random ad popped up about this game called Spectropes, a Nintendo DS game. Please remember this detail. I was so fascinated seeing that game, I was only imagining how dope playing this game would be. Remember this detail, please. But I was just sitting there in front of my TV with my older brother and we were not even really looking at the screen. We were looking down and slowly started to accept the fact that we will never have a DS. I cannot even use words to explain how painful such an experience can be for a 9-year-old. I was in pain. Agony even. Sick to my fucking stomach, bro. So we both got up and headed to school. Fuck it. We balled. We accepted our fate. So, around a month later, my uncle came to visit us. Mind you, the thought of me getting a DS didn't really cross my mind anymore because of how fucking unrealistic it was. But yeah, my uncle pulled up and he was like, "Damn, as I was driving here, I've seen y'all got some new basketball courts in the neighborhood. They look clean as fuck." By the way, my uncle doesn't really talk this way. I'm just over exaggerating, but yeah. For some reason, he really wanted to check out those basketball courts by any means necessary. So my dad, my uncle, me and my brother left the house at around 10 p.m. I'm gonna do this segment with paint because I really want you guys to visualize the fuckery that is about to unfold. We are not using AI on this channel. Fuck AI. We arrive at the court, which was a hybrid of a soccer field and a basketball court at the same time, if that makes sense. It's a really European thing. And as my dad and my uncle were talking, me and my brother were kicking around a football. For understanding, the court was fenced by this net that should prevent balls, no homo, from flying all over the place. And that very net had a tiny hole in it. And as I was kicking the ball, I actually kicked the ball right through that tiny hole. I wasn't even aware of that hole being there. It was just a coincidence. So the ball went outside, laid on the grass, and I had to get all around the court to get the ball because the net was blocking my way. I know it's a really bizarre construction, but yeah. And as I was bending over to pick up the ball, I noticed a fanny pack just laying there in the grass. Nobody was around, just me and a fanny pack. A fanny pack that I still to this day possess. The curious motherfucker I was, I picked up the bag and I actually decided to open it up. My football was mere inches away from that fanny pack. What a big fucking coincidence. I open up the bag and I kid you not, God is my bear witness. Not one, two Nintendo Ds's, a black one and a white one. Not one Pokemon game, countless Pokemon games. Pokemon Pearl, Pokemon Diamond, Pokemon Fire Red, Pokemon Ruby. And guess what else was in there? Spectrobes, motherfucker. When I tell you, I damn near passed out. Believe me, I'm telling the truth. I couldn't believe it. I went straight to my dad and uncle and told them about what I've just found. And they told me that we have to find the owner, obviously, because it's a lot of money at the end of the day. And we knew one of them was called Patrick because he was registered as Patrick on the DS. So we were asking around the neighborhood and nobody seems to know who this belongs to. It was so bizarre. And mind you, we are a small neighborhood. So my dad was like, you know what? It's late. Take it home with you. We will come back tomorrow to find these kids. We have to find them. I went home. I literally slept with that fanny pack. I was not touching the consoles. I was just sleeping with them like a fucking maniac. So it was a Saturday. I woke up at 7 a.m., ran straight to that court and started asking everybody. I don't care who it was. I started asking everybody. Do you know Patrick? Do you know who these DS's belong to? I kid you not. I asked so many people I lost track of time. I even decided to sit down at the exact spot I found the fanny pack in. I was sitting there for hours and hours. And low-key, I was hoping ain't nobody pulling up to get this shit, bro, because I really want it. I was waiting for somebody to pull up. But guess what? It never happened. And when I tell you that whoever these DS's belong to didn't give a fuck about them, believe me, they didn't give a fuck about them. At around midnight, I was outside the whole entire day. I didn't eat shit. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. They belong to me and my brother now. For all the pain we have went through, we deserve this shit. I do not give a fuck what y'all say. If I was the one losing my DS, two DS's for that matter, I would have contacted the FBI. Clearly, these motherfuckers didn't give a flying fuck about it. This was the moment I realized that there has to be a higher power. There has to be a God, someone who saw my pain, and believe me, it was true pain. Someone who made me miss the whole entire goal, hitting that exact hole, so I can pick up my football next to a fanny pack with two DS's, two brothers who really wanted a DS by any means necessary. All the games they have ever wanted, found so randomly without paying a single penny. I am so sorry. But this is never a coincidence. Never. And remember when my dad cut me off in the Toys R Us when I said that the white one is cool and the black one is cool, and then he cut me off. And guess what colorways were in that fanny pack? Black and white. And a little bizarre side note, like 1 or 2 years later, the 3DS released and obviously all my friends got one. And I wasn't even planning on asking for one because I knew the outcome. I was so happy with my regular DS. I wasn't even thinking about getting a 3DS. Again, God is my bear witness. Guess who won a 3DS on some random Facebook giveaway? When the Wii U came out, I was so fascinated by that technology. Guess who won a Super Mario Maker Wii U bundle on some random giveaway? Me. Yes, obviously, me. I have goosebumps telling the story. My pain was true, and I got rewarded for my pain. That was my story, and why a Nintendo DS made me believe in God. Thank you for listening.